Hey everybody, welcome to another installment of Brad Cook Stuff. This week I decided I'd like to try my own take on a classic Western dish, the Salisbury steak. I had some marked down hamburger patties, and really all I need to do is just put together some gravy. I've never made these before, so I'll be kind of flying by the seat of my pants with a little bit of advice from my cooking mentor. So tonight we are making Salisbury steak with mushroom gravy. Anyway, let's take a look at the ingredients and see what we're working with. Here are the ingredients for tonight's dish. Of course, we have a couple of hamburger patties, a small tray of brown mushrooms, some viande glace and some demi-glace sauce, a little bit of garlic salt, and of course, some good old-fashioned flour. All right, I'm going to go ahead and slice up these mushrooms. I went ahead and washed all of these mushrooms, so we're going to go ahead and slice them up. I may not use all of them in the dish, but if I've got them open, I'm going to go ahead and slice them anyway. Okay, I've got some nice sliced mushrooms. Time to fry them. All right, we're going to melt a little butter. I'm using my medium pan because it's wide enough to fry a couple of burgers, but deep enough to actually cook them in the gravy. I'm also going to add a little bit of garlic salt to this butter. All right, add in mushrooms. All right, let's add these patties in with the mushrooms. All right, the outsides are cooked. We are going to go ahead, turn the heat way down, and we're going to take the patties out and set them aside. Next up, we are going to make a little bit of gravy in this glass here. All right, first, we use a quarter cup of cold water and 2 tablespoons of flour. I'm going to stir this up so it doesn't have any lumps. That seems about as lump-free as I'm going to get it. So, next we are going to add this glace. I think this needs a little more water. I'm going to add 1 more pouch of this. All right, let's see if we can get this to stir up some. All right, I think this is about as good as it's going to get. So let's go ahead and add it in with the mushrooms. All right, so this is our flour, water, and glace mix. Okay. And on top of that, we actually have a demi-glace sauce pouch. Turn the heat back up. And resume cooking. All right, well, this is thickening up very nicely. So we need to taste it first. So I'm going to get a little taste here. I'm going to add in a little bit more garlic salt. And we're going to grind in a little bit of pepper. Let's stir that in. It's not bad. And finally, we're going to put in some Worcestershire sauce. I think I'm going to need to add a little bit more salt to this, so we're going to play with a little bit until I get it to the taste I actually like. After a little more Worcestershire and some more salt, I think this might actually be ready to go. So, we're going to put those patties back in. Go. There's one. And there's the other. All right. Let's crank the heat and cover these up. All right, let's check in on these. They're coming along nicely. We'll flip them over. It's been about half an hour. Let's check in. Yeah, you know what? I think these might actually be done. All right, let's go ahead and get them onto a plate. Try them out. All right, moment of truth. I have here a plate with the closest thing I could make to Salisbury steak with mushroom gravy. All right, it's not really the easiest thing to make, but oh, it smells good. All right, so let's take a bite and see how it tastes. We're going to use a spoon here because it's easier to use. All right, so all right, get a good look at it there. All right, let's try it. Wow, that is good. Holy crap. I did not think it was going to turn out that well. All right, I need another bite of this. Yeah, man. Geez, that is a lot better than I thought it was going to be. Here we go, here. Okay, that's really, really good. I did not think it was going to turn out quite this well. The sauce is really what makes it. I mean, these patties are nice and soft, but the sauce is what makes it. I guess all of the crap that I threw in there ended up working out for the best. So, yeah. This was not hard to make, but definitely not as easy as I expected it might be. I had a couple of minor issues as I was making it, but in the end, it all worked out, and I think the results kind of speak for themselves, at least for me here. Now, of course, if you want to make this at home yourself, you could use beef stock, which is something I didn't really have access to here, or you could leave the mushrooms out, or add extra mushrooms if you're really into it. And you could use a turkey burger or something if you wanted something a little bit lower calorie. Me personally, I'm a fan of the traditional Salisbury steak, which is beef. Regardless, I wasn't sure if this is going to work out, but I think I can say this was an unexpected success, and I'm really very pleased with the result. So, I've got an entire patty here, and one more bite of the first one. I'm going to finish all this off before I go to bed, but as always, I appreciate you guys stopping in. I will see you in the next video.